Welcome to I'm Screaming, a podcast for anyone who's felt like shamelessly screaming at the top of their lungs over a moment in pop culture.
Because sometimes pop culture can be scary and you gotta let it out. Let's scream about it together.
Hello, Meg.
Hi, Giselle.
Here we are, another day, another Monday, and we're recording I'm Screaming.
And it's getting darker and darker and darker every Monday.
It's so hard. Like, I feel like I'm becoming a broken record at this point, but like every day I'm like, not it being 4:30 p.m. and it feeling like it's midnight. Like, so upsetting.
So rude. Like Saturday when we were out in a boot and then all of a sudden it was pitch black and we were like, what time is it? And it was 5:45.
It's like actually so rude, and it makes things so hard because it's like you feel like you're doing so much in a day and then like you can't help but be tired when it's like so dark outside.
Completely. It's just disrespectful.
It's extremely disrespectful, but the thing is, as we always say, it's a Monday night, but I feel a jolt of energy because I'm looking at the beautiful Megan Brady and we're recording this podcast.
And I'm texting, and which is so rude, but I'm messaging our group chat, so it is kind of okay. I'm
part of the whole circle. Connecting the dots.
Connecting the dots. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you really were on it this week with the stories because I was completely like all day just like what even happened.
I mean, I'm usually not, but I just feel like this time there's specific points where I was like, oh yes. And then when I was actually sitting, because I told Meg before we started this, I'm trying to be productive this week. So I like sat and I like thought about this so I would be ready.
And she's ready, and I feel like I'm not, but we're going to dive in anyway.
Your existence means that you're ready.
I'm wearing my Harry Styles sweatshirt, and I'm feeling very good.
I love that. Okay. Should we kick it off with a usual I'm Screaming segment?
An I'm Screaming favorite. What we're watching. And I feel like Meg is actually watching more than me. And that is because I mean, like, I'm in the midst of watching shows. Like, I told Meg I'm finishing We Are Who We Are. You have to, because Vera and I are dying to have a conversation about it where we don't have to whisper behind our hands.
I know, it's so hard for me because, like, I feel like with those shows sometimes, like, I have to be in, like, the correct mindset to be able to, like, watch them and finish them and, like, actually
totally
take what like the content is. And
I watched that last episode in the dark on like the week of the election when I was just feeling like very down, and I was like, okay, like let me be depressed, but like by this show and not by the world.
And yeah, that show's heavy, but it is very good. Luca of Call Me By Your Name fame.
Of Call Me By Your Name fame. Of Suspiria fame.
Exactly. I don't know what that is, but yes, Suspiria. And so I'm in the middle of watching that. But the only thing that I've actually watched, and this is because, as I said last week, I was going through it and I needed to just detach, and I started watching this, and then I just, all of a sudden it was 2 a.m. and I was done with it. And that is
amazing.
Dash and Lily, executive produced by none other than Nicholas Jonas.
I mean, it's funny because last week after we recorded, you said to me, we were sitting on your couch, and you said to me, what is this Nick Jonas or Jonas Brothers show? And I was like, Jonas Brothers show. And then I was like, oh, it's this thing, the Dash and Lily thing, and the Kelly Clarkson Christmas song is in the trailer.
Yeah.
And so I was intrigued by it. But I have not watched it yet. But it's half-hour episodes, correct? That's what you told me?
It is. It's half-hour episodes. And basically, I think it's based off of a book. And it's
a YA novel.
A YA novel. I mean, here's the thing, folks. It's extremely cliche. I mean, we all knew it was going to happen the first episode at the end of it. It is a bit long and drawn out, I will have to say. Like, I kept being like, these new plot points that they're trying to introduce. But I feel like I felt this way as Meg felt to Hollywood back in the day. Like, it wasn't a particularly good show, but like I I finished it. I watched it, and like I didn't stop watching it.
And no one can ever take that away from you.
Exactly. And like the thing is, it's like I'm obviously I'm such a sucker for like a outcast falls in love with like not outcast, and then they like make it work, and the non-outcast realizes that he was an outcast all along, and like whatever. I'm such a sucker for that kind of like misfit love story type shit. So it's very much in my genre of thing. And also I like famously continue to watch children's programs even though I'm 25 years old.
And I also famously continue to read children's novels. So
but I also do this thing, Meg knows, that like when she's like, how did you finish that? And it's because I watched like the first 3 episodes in full, and then when the plot points start to get redundant, I just start skipping. So like I will watch 5 minutes of it, and then there'll be like characters I don't care about, and then I'll just like skip forward to the characters I do care about so I can understand the general plot points. But sometimes these 30-minute episodes take too long. They could just get their point across in 10 minutes. So that's what I did for like 3 in the middle. And then I watched like the last one.
I'm the opposite of that, in the sense that if I'm watching something that I really can't stand, like I will stop. But if I'm watching something and I'm like, I want to finish this, and I miss a scene because I'm distracted or something, I'll have to go back like and like rewind it like a little bit to like actually get what happened, even if it's completely irrelevant and not actually, you know, important or interesting at all. I just like I feel like I have to check every box. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'll watch it. I don't know if I'm ready for Christmassy stuff yet, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think I am. I think that like I watched that and I was like, ooh, it's a bit too early for this.
Because there's that musical that Netflix did. Because last night, Katie and I were like looking for something to watch, and we're on Netflix, and we watched like this entire scene of Dash and Lily, like the preview that comes up on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like the girl, Lily, I'm assuming, her parents leave her for Christmas, her grandfather leaves her, and then her brother's like, I have a date coming over, like, can you get out?
Yeah, literally.
We were like, what is happening? And then we stumbled upon this thing called Jingle Jangle. It's a musical on Netflix.
Nah, Jingle Jangle.
Starring Forrest Whitaker, and Academy Award winner Forrest Whitaker, by the way, Anika Noni Rose
of Tiana fame, and Dreamgirls fame.
Who else? Keegan-Michael Key. I originally said Enrique Iglesias, but it's actually Ricky Martin. And like a bunch of big name people, and it's a musical that Netflix did, but it's Christmassy, and I don't think I'm ready for it yet.
Yeah, they're really trying to push that Christmas content. There's that movie, and then there's also that new Cat Graham movie that actually like I saw on TikTok, where apparently I'm getting all my news these days, that like I knew nothing about it, but I saw this girl on TikTok who's from Guam, and the story is set in Guam, and she was basically like, this film is like military propaganda because
military propaganda in 2020.
Yes, I know. She was like basically like apparently in the film, like the military drops resources to Guam,
yes,
and like the girl from Guam was being like, fuck the military, they think they're saving us, but like in reality they're like not, and like they're making it all out to seem like Guam is like this like third world country and we have no like connection to the real world, but in reality we're just like all people living here trying to make it like everyone else, and it's like really upsetting, this film. And I was like, oh no, not Cat Graham being in another annoying film, Jesus.
Cat Graham and Alexander Ludwig of Hunger Games fame.
Oh my god, yeah.
Hi. And also he was in that movie Midway that I took my dad to see last year because he's obsessed with like Pearl Harbor and like,
oh, wasn't Nick Jonas in that movie?
And Nick Jonas played a literal like Italian Guido.
I hate that.
And then he got an anchor tied to his feet and he drowned.
Oh my god.
By like the Japanese. It was very bad. It was terrible. Darren Criss was also in it.
Oh no.
And yeah, it was my dad and I were like, okay. We did like 1917 though.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I'm watching a bunch of stuff. I mean, not only did I watch 6 episodes of The Crown today. I watched
Okay.
2 last night, and so basically I'm probably gonna finish it tonight. The new season.
Oh my god, already. How many episodes?
10.
Okay.
Yeah. But they're like 50, they're not 30-minute episodes. These are 15-minute episodes.
Everyone's talking about The Crown.
Yes, because it's finally the time where like Princess Diana comes into it.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the Crown writers did not hold back when it comes to making Prince Charles look like a complete douchebag asshole, like the way that he treated her. And I think everyone is kind of like remembering, oh wait, even though he's maybe rehabilitated his image in the past 20 whatever 30 years, no, less than 30 years, because she died after we were born, so like 25 years since she died.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's a bad person. And also I think everyone is starting to compare it to, oh wait, this is why Harry and Meghan left the royal family, because they don't treat people right.
No, literally.
Suspending reality for this show is kind of, I think, the best strategy, because it is actually like a really fucking good show. Mm-hmm. But it's just, you just have to remind yourself like, oh no, but like these are actual people who live and are alive right now, and they're bad people, most of them. So
yeah,
but it's I don't know, it's incredibly well done to me.
That makes me think of Vera and I were talking yesterday about the new Reagan's docuseries that's coming out or whatever.
Yeah, we were talking. I was with you guys.
Okay, yes. I couldn't remember when that was, but we were talking. All of us were talking about that, and so like I watched the trailer this morning, and I definitely want to watch that. And I feel like that's similar, where it's like obviously Nancy and Ronald Reagan are passed away at this point, but it's just so relevant to like what's going on today with like the Trump era. And I do think, as you were saying about Prince Charles and his like image, kind of him like rehabilitating his image over the last 25 years, like that's what the Reagan documentary is about, is like them, like people forgetting literally that like before Trump there was Ronald Reagan, and like all the shit things he did, and like how much like Nancy had a part of it, and like how literally Trump is using Make America Great Again, which was Reagan's
which I did
slogan.
not know until we talked about it the other day. I had no clue.
I didn't either. And so I feel like there's like so many things I would love to learn about that. And also just like, yeah, it's so many relevant things that are happening. And I think it's so interesting that The Crown is producing this show with these people like still being alive. Obviously not Diana, but do they have to get permission? Do you know?
I don't think so. I think it's based on books and like authorized memoirs and different things. So that's a really good question, though. I know that they don't watch the show, apparently. Though I wonder if Meghan is like making Harry watch it now that they're separate.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I'm just a sucker for that kind of stuff. So, but it's a really good show. I mean, like, I would recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, I think I like it.
But I'm trying to get through it so that I can continue to finally keep watching The Mandalorian.
Yes.
Because I watched the first 2 episodes of season 1 the other day. And I was introduced finally, not just in GIF form, not just in meme form, to the one and only Baby Yoda.
Yes, I watched the first season of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, and I was completely overcome by how cute Baby Yoda is in the actual, with the little noises that it makes and like its little like giggles and whatever. I'm just smitten, so I can't wait to continue watching that. And even though there's a lot of controversy right now, which I think we
with the Mandalorian.
Yeah, because this
why are people
woman,
mad at Baby Yoda?
Well, I don't know what Baby Yoda did yet, because I'm trying not to spoil it for myself, but in real life, the actress who plays like, I haven't met her yet in the show, so I don't actually know her character name, but Gina Carano or something. She's like the woman with the short hair. So if you watched it, you might know.
Oh yeah.
She's like incredibly transphobic.
Oh shit.
And basically like it came out like maybe after the first season, and she kind of was tweeting and she was like, I don't think she had said anything like that bad at that point. I could be completely wrong, but I do remember seeing tweets about her being like, well, I'm sorry, like I'm educating myself. Like Pedro Pascal, who plays the Mandalorian, is like has had conversations with me and is like whatever. But basically the other day it came out she was like tweeting more stuff and liking all these like pro-Trump, anti-trans tweets.
Oh no.
And yeah, so Disney's whole inclusivity bullshit is bullshit, actually.
Yeah, like I just like, are people not doing background checks? Whoever is the background check department of Disney should all be fired.
They don't. I mean, they don't even do them. Yeah, they don't. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so not looking forward to having to delve into that once I'm done with The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But I'm also watching The Undoing on HBO, which is so good. The Nicole Kidman show.
Yes, Nicole.
Nicole, always another woman, always with a check, always
never not
making dramatic faces on HBO, always.
Never.
Every year. She's never not on HBO. Always with a wig, always with this long green like coat in this show, or this like maroon one. Always walking. I kind of relate to this a lot because part of the show is like she's like, I like to walk home, like I like to walk in the city, and it's like that's me, you know. I like always will like walk somewhere if I have the time. So, but yeah, it's also has Hugh Grant in it and like a bunch of like normal HBO actors. Katie and I have to watch last night's episode still, but there's only gonna be 6, so I think it's gonna be like quick, like it's gonna be over soon. So yeah, highly recommend. It's like a murder mystery, suspense, family drama, your typical Nicole Kidman-ish. So, but definitely love it.
I love that. And I think
also, I just have to plug the Queen's Gambit again. I don't think I've actually like vehemently, which I think is how you say that word, like plugged it. I talked about it when I had first watched the first episode, but it is literally one of the best things I've seen like all year. It's so good.
Okay, I know. Yeah. I need to watch it. Maybe I'll start it after I finish We Are Who We Are, which I guess will be tonight. So maybe tomorrow I will begin the Queen's Gambit, and then next week I can give you an update. Mm-hmm. So I mean, okay, our number 4 is like kind of a continuation from this because it's another thing that we watched, but I feel like we can't put it in the same category as what we watched like basically on Netflix, because this is just like a whole event in and of itself, I feel.
Oh yes, okay, good transition as always, Giselle. You're really, it's an art, it's a skill.
It's honestly recruitment.
It's incredible.
I swear to God, it's being in a story. like truly, like
funny you say that.
Literally. So we together actually, which is a treat as always.
Such a treat.
Watched The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And I don't feel like we have actually dabbled in any Real Housewives conversations on this podcast yet. So I'm very interested to see of our listeners who are Real Housewives fans. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like personally, like obviously the Real Housewives franchise started when I was still living at home. So like when I was in high school. And like, I remember like watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. I most specifically remember watching The Real Housewives of New Jersey when the table was flipped by Teresa.
Oh, no.
Like I was like very into that season. And I watched some seasons of like Beverly Hills and Orange County, and back in the day, like in New York, like Countess Luann, my queen. But then when I got into college, I kind of stopped watching any show that was not like on a streaming service, because like I feel like when I wasn't like doing homework, I was like drinking or living a life. I don't know. So
being a college student.
So whatever. I haven't actually kept up with any of the recent seasons, but my friend Sean, who we talk about often on this podcast, is like now in quarantine times a Real Housewives stan. And so I saw that there was going to be the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And like, I also feel as though I have personal stake in this franchise, this specific one, because I famously went to high school with many Mormons.
Famously.
Many Mormons. So I feel as though I know a lot about the religion that is being Mormon.
Yeah, I mean, you're the one who told me that the more kids you have, the bigger your planet is.
Yes. And
right?
if anyone is actually Mormon that listens to our podcast, I feel like this is right. This is not wrong. Like obviously I don't have like the book in front of me, but like I do, all my friends that I've talked to in high school told me that was the case. So if that is not the case, then they have clearly lied to me.
Well, I've seen the Book of Mormon.
Yes. Same.
But and apparently what I've always heard about that show is that not one thing that they say in that show about Mormonism is,
I kind of say Mormonism, but I'm not sure.
The Mormon religion is not, nothing is a lie. Like everything is basically like verbatim pulled from the actual Book of Mormon. So so it's like, what's the line where it's like, I believe that God has his own planet.
Yes.
And Jesus has his own planet as well.
Yes.
Yes.
So I have a long-standing history just knowing, being surrounded by people who are Mormon. Mm-hmm. So that is why I had like a stake in this, because I wanted, like, I was like, how are they going to do a season of Real Housewives in Salt Lake City, Utah, when everyone's Mormon and Mormons like do not drink or drink caffeine, or they have to be modest and whatever, and they're nice. They're apparently very nice.
Curse.
Yes. Like, yeah. So I'm like, that's the whole premise of like Real Housewives, is to drink, not be nice, curse, and dress scantily clad.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know how this is gonna happen, but of course it fucking happened.
And it was iconic.
Yeah, Meg, have you seen other seasons of The Real Housewives? I don't remember. Okay, so I knew what I was going to
That was the first time I've ever sat down, I believe, and watched an episode of Real Housewives from start to finish, like on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my roommates in college always liked it and were watching, so I think I like absorbed some stuff from that on like weekends and stuff, but I never was like actively seeking it out for sure.
Right. But Meg was over on Saturday, and so we watched it. And I have to say, I thought it was a pretty good episode. Like,
it was great. No, are you kidding?
I was hooked. So like, if anyone watches, I love Jen. She's definitely going to be my favorite.
Jen's my bitch. I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah, Jen's the best. I mean,
her opening thing where she was like, what is she, Tongan, half Tongan and half,
I'm not sure.
She was born in Hawaii.
Yeah.
But she's like, but in Utah, I'm black because they don't know any better.
Yeah, and she's like married to a black man and like
absolutely calls it like
black children.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But like nobody actually thinks that, like, or nobody, just everyone just assumes she's black. But like it's just the way she said it, and just like the way she's no bullshit. Also, her son is hot.
Yes, her older son is very hot. And
yes, her older son. Sorry, I hope that goes without saying, not her 13-year-old son.
And then there's like a gaggle of white women. That's also a gaggle of white women.
Blonde cousins, I think Meredith and Heather.
Yes, Queen Meredith.
We're gonna call them Meredith. And I do like. Oh no, maybe Meredith's not blonde. She's the one whose birthday it was though, and she's the one with the gay son who stayed home, who famously took a semester off of college so that he could be on the show with us.
That's so iconic. To me, he's the most iconic person on the show.
Oh my gosh, Katie's an angel. She just texted me, Whitney and Heather are cousins. So we got the blonde ladies are Whitney and Heather.
Thank you, Katie Nolan.
Yes. And yeah. And then there's the Mary woman.
Then there's Mary, who the way she describes is that Mary is married to her step-grandfather, because when her grandmother died, her grandmother basically was apparently like, my dying wish is that Mary is taken care of, or the man is taken care of or something. So he and Mary will be married. So now Mary and the step grandfather are like the pastors of this church, which is like a bit sketchy.
But like it also, I mean, Sean was showing me this whole like tea about their whole church and how it's like a cult basically, and how like they're responsible for like a lot of bad things, and it's like very stressful, and like that the way that the whole marriage with the step grandfather went down was actually like pretty sade. So Sean, I think, said this, and I talked to Katie and she thinks so too, and that Mary's only really going to last one season on this because she's already been like being dragged on social media and like in the press and stuff for her whole like thing.
Yeah, they probably just put someone super sensational on the first season so people would watch.
Exactly. It's
clickbait!
A juicy storyline to get those viewers.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I'm going to keep watching.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I'm going to keep watching. There's also Lisa, right?
Is she the one who's actually still Mormon?
Yes.
There's one on the show that's still
and she
Mormon.
wasn't originally Mormon.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so we got them all.
Yes.
The 6 ladies.
And like all of them in some way have like ties to either being Mormon or like, but most of them are not Mormon anymore. Some of them grew up Mormon but aren't Mormon or like whatever. But there's one, which is the one you just said, Lisa, who's actually still Mormon. But the funny part about Lisa is she's Mormon, but she owns tequila companies.
Yes, and she has 2 tequilas, and they're creating a vodka now.
Yes. So like that's also like LMAO, like
it's just
these
incredibly
loopholes.
Sketchy. Yeah, I mean, yes, and then
another thing about Jen,
BYU connection where like the drama that went down in college. There's a lot of good stuff like set up for this season. I'm excited.
Yeah, we also have to stand Jen because she was definitely made a dress out of Biden-Harris signs, which we stand Jen.
Woo!
No, yeah, I'm excited to watch it. I made my mom watch it too, and we were talking about it. So maybe I'll throw in next week some like Marion Smith anecdotes.
Yes, would love to hear what she has to say.
But yes, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm gonna keep watching. If you guys watch, please let us know. Let's chat about it. I would love to create a subgroup of I'm Screaming fans who watch this that we can kiki about, because I think these are the we already have like a Bachelor subgroup, I feel. So like let's create a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City subgroup of I'm Screaming fans.
Yes.
I love it. Okay. Number 3. I feel like this number 3 is an RIP to a relationship that I feel like hit Meg harder than other people.
It did. When you told me this on Friday, I was like equal parts not surprised and also like really saddened. But like,
yeah,
I don't know. We didn't know like too much about them. This is Olivia Wilde and Jason Sudeikis ended their engagement after 9 years, which like, if you're engaged for 9 years and you're not married yet, that says something, I think.
That
you know
seems
what
as
I
though
mean?
it's a red
like,
flag.
No Tino shade to anyone who has long engagements or whatever.
Totally.
But like there's a difference between like a partnership where you're just like you're not in a rush to get married or whatever, and like getting engaged, which is engaged to be married, right, and then not getting married for 9 years. And having 2 children and like all that jazz. So whatever. But I don't know. I like them. But I kind of felt like this was coming because this happens a lot when a woman in a relationship, in a celebrity relationship, starts becoming successful.
Right.
Okay. You know, Olivia Wilde had this huge directorial debut last year with Booksmart, which was like a smash hit. We famously love Booksmart.
Yeah, truly, that's one of my favorite movies of last year.
Is basically being, you know, touted as like this like new directing force, and especially with like the push in the industry for like more female directors and giving opportunities to more female directors. She obviously, as a white woman, is the first choice for a lot of people rather than a woman of color, but still, she's talented.
We need another person other than Greta Gerwig.
Exactly.
Not to be confused with Greta Thunberg.
Which Giselle did the other day.
Whoopsies.
It was oh no, oh no, oh
like, basically we were sitting in Tribeca and getting breakfast, and there was like a picture of Greta Thunberg, and we were like saying we wanted to watch that documentary, and I was like, pop off, Greta Gerwig. And I like, truly, it was that TikTok. Like, in that moment I was like, fuck, I met Greta Thunberg.
She knew she fucked up. But Olivia Wilde obviously has this huge movie coming up called Don't Worry, Darling, famously starring Harry Styles and Florence Pugh as a married couple.
Yes!
She's also acting in it. Also Gemma Chan's in it. Also Kiki Lane's in it. Also Chris Pine's in it.
Ooh,
also, I think, no, Dakota Johnson had to drop out, but it was supposed to be Dakota Johnson, and now it's like, I think, Kiki Lane or Gemma Chan. But still, this is like huge. It's like based on a book. It's going to be really prestige-y. So I don't know what happened there. You know, it's sad when like a low-key couple like that, who like, I've seen so many blind items that they've been like spotted in Brooklyn bars, just like chilling and whatever. But yeah, I kind of do feel like it's a bit of a career, you know, careers maybe being on different paths.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Sudeikis got his role stolen on SNL by Jim Carrey because he used to play Biden. And I actually...
Wait, what?
Jason Sudeikis used to play Biden on SNL.
Oh, I did not know that.
Because he used to be on SNL. So I think like...
I only know Jason Sudeikis as Olivia Wilde's fiance. Like, I don't know.
Oh, really?
Things. I know he's like supposed to be funny.
Oh, he actually is very funny. I think he's funny.
I think I've seen him in things.
Well, he was in both Horrible Bosses movies.
Oh yeah.
He was famously in one of my mom and I favorite movies to watch on syndication when it's on reruns, We Are the Millers, with Jennifer Aniston and Emma Roberts and Will Poulter. Which is a very stupid movie, but a movie that makes me laugh.
These are all movies I have not seen.
Yeah. Well, he was also in Booksmart. He was the principal. And the principal / Uber driver. Yeah.
That's Jason Sudeikis.
Yes, that's Jason Sudeikis.
Not me having this item on the list and me not knowing who Jason Sudeikis actually is.
Well, it's okay, because our next one, you're going to just basically be telling me everything because I didn't watch it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they were always kind of an odd couple to me, but I don't know. I think this is like another probably quarantine breakup, you know?
Yeah.
You're quarantined together. You're realizing maybe you're just not compatible anymore. Maybe you don't want to spend 24/7 with this person. But yeah, I mean, I wish them both the best, I suppose. I'm excited
one couple ends while another couple, Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani, get engaged.
The
boundary of that couple.
But that's the thing. That's the difference there, is that they were together for a while before they got engaged.
Yeah.
Whereas like Jason Sudeikis and Olivia Wilde got engaged, I don't know, like less than 2 years after they started dating.
Oh, really?
So, I mean, it's different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean? Like,
totally.
But yeah, rest in peace to that couple, I suppose. Olivia Wilde is very lucky that she gets to be making this movie with all these great people. I hope it's good.
Yeah, I feel like I don't actually know any like actual, once again, me not knowing anything about Olivia Wilde other than Booksmart. Or wasn't she in Tron?
Yes, she was in Tron.
That's the only other thing I know that
she's also so famously she became famous being on House.
Oh,
for 5 seasons. Yeah. So that's where she kind of came from, I guess, in her career, where she popped up.
Real talk. Did people watch House?
Yeah.
I know people did, but I'm asking, like,
people watched House.
Listeners, if you guys watched House, let me know, because I feel as though House was one of those shows. Like, when I think about Grey's Anatomy, I know everyone watches it except for me, but like House, I don't watch it. And Meg, and I feel like House, I'm like, I know is so popular, it's on forever, but like, did people watch it? Maybe people older than us, I don't know.
People watched it. I think it got a little old after a while, because it's like, I don't know. I mean, there are so many shows out there, not to like go off on a tangent, but like there are so many shows out there that are centered around a protagonist that is like literally fucking insufferable. Like
Yeah.
Big Bang Theory, Young Sheldon, like Jim Parsons is like so insufferable in that role, and it's like I get it's about his character development and whatever, but that was the same thing with House with Hugh Laurie and Dr. House. Like he was just like so mean to everyone.
Yeah, I
And
don't like that.
And I think after a while, sometimes people get really fucking sick of that. You know what I mean? Just the same old, like being mean, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm trying to think of any other show right now because I'm saying that all of these shows do this, and now I can't think of any of the shows that do it. But
No,
it is
I know
absolutely
what you mean.
a trope, you know?
I feel like that way about 13 Reasons Why. I think Clay isn't.
Oh my God, he's terrible.
Like, I think there's like, I totally understand what you're saying, where there's just shows where it's like so hard to watch it, even though you like maybe care about other characters, but like the main person's just like so annoying.
Glee.
Oh my.
Rachel.
Did you see the?
Now I'm thinking of everything. Gossip Girl. I mean, a lot of people don't like Serena.
Yeah.
And same with like One Tree Hill. I feel like that's Chad Michael Murray after a while just got like fucking annoying, but also that show again went on far too long.
Did you see the thing recently where people were comparing Rachel?
Yeah, you sent me that TikTok.
Yeah.
Who were they comparing her with again?
Rachel and Finn to Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes.
Oh my God.
Because someone was like, is Shawn Mendes mean? And they were like, the thing about Finn's character on Glee is like, they gave him like a good edit, but like Finn also was like kind of mean sometimes. Like,
oh my God, I mean, there's this scene that I saw circulating when the first time around when he and Rachel were dating, and it's like they're standing by his locker and Santana and Brittany walk by and they're like you're ugly and like I'm more talented than you, blah blah blah, and like Finn like laughs and it's like what the fuck?
Like, don't forget Finn started the whole show like throwing the slushies in people's faces.
He did.
Like, R.I.P.
But then he rescued
you,
Kevin McHale from the porta potty at the end of the episode, though.
He did. Like, that was the thing. He had like, and that's what people think about Shawn Mendes. They're like, he was in MadCon, so he has to be a bitch, but like, also maybe he's nice. I think people want to believe he's nice.
But I think he's stupid. I think he's stupid the way Finn was stupid. Like, I'm sorry, like, people can come for me if they want, but I just don't. I mean, I watched that Wonder trailer like 100 times at this point. I mean, like, my song comes on the radio and I tell her, I'm like, it's about you. They're all about you. She's like, what are you talking about? It's like, I mean, they're all about you. Every song I've ever wrote.
I'm like, Shawn Mendes.
Not Shawn Mendes having a documentary.
Like, truly, I do not understand what warrants Shawn Mendes having a documentary, but like, am I going to watch it? Yes. That's because I'm trash.
Like, when does it come out? I hate when Netflix does this. Because they used to release trailers for things like the week before they came out, so then you'd only have to wait a week. But now, for some things, they do it like a month or two in advance, like this Bridgerton show, this Shonda show that I'm actually incredibly interested in watching. They released the trailer like 2 weeks ago, and it's not coming out till Christmas.
Yeah, no, that's annoying.
For what, Netflix? For
I'm
what?
I'm very excited about Bridgerton.
November 23rd. Oh, on Friday, right? No.
Next Friday. Next Monday. What?
Why a Monday? Weird. Netflix, I don't understand how Netflix does things sometimes. But.
I agree. But yeah, I was like, where did we even start here?
We started with Olivia Wilde and Jason Sudeikis.
Not us going on tangents. Okay, so the thing, Meg kind of alluded to this when she was talking about this next thing. And that's because she didn't watch it. But like, I actually don't even, it's the question. You guys know, I always like have things, but have questions that prompt from the things.
Yes.
So the thing I'm talking about is the People's Choice Award, which I actually, number one, don't think I've ever watched before. And number two, didn't actually have any desire to watch it. Mm-hmm. So like the way it happened, me watching the People's Choice Awards, is that I was at Fira's and we were making this stew that was like a 5-hour stew. And
what time did you start making it at?
Like 4. And we were like, okay, like let's maybe watch a movie. So we were like looking at me. I was like, let's watch The Holiday. And of course, that's not your genre at all. So like,
have you seen it yet?
No, I
watched it twice because Katie and I watched it the other night.
I think I'll love it. So I was like, let's watch The Holiday. And then she was like, no. So we watched some trailers for some other like sad movies. And I was like, no. And then she like, of course, swayed me with The Love of My Life, Daveed Diggs. She was like, have you watched Blind Spotting? And I was like, no. So then we like began watching Blind Spotting, but it was a bit like too much. It was like 9, the wine had been flowing. And so we were like, I was like, is the People's Choice Awards on tonight? Demi Lovato's hosting. I'm also famously a Demi Lovato apologist. So we struggle and turn it on. And like, it was a 2-hour long award show, but like actually like nothing happened. Like they awarded Tracee Ellis Ross with this fashion icon award thing.
Okay, well, we love that for her.
We love that for her, but they had Tyler, the Creator, announce it. And then they had the clown of all clowns, Armie Hammer, announce Your Queen, J-Lo, to be like the People's Icon Award or something.
In what universe are they connected?
They're gonna be, I also asked this question because he kept saying his friend and co-star. He was like, I'm so excited to introduce my friend and co-star Jennifer Lopez. And I was like, co-star? And they're gonna be in a movie together coming out, I think next year.
What is this movie about?
They're gonna be in love, I think.
Oh no.
No.
Why does Armie Hammer make the worst career decisions ever?
Terrible.
Always bad career decisions. Another, just like a quick side note, because I just remembered something that we probably should talk about because it's relevant to us. Speaking of odd pairs, did you see the latest news on our problematic fave? What would we call him? Our reluctant fave, Chris Evans.
What?
That he was hanging out with Aly Raisman and their dogs had a play date yesterday.
I hate that. Also, like, no, absolutely no shade to Aly Raisman. Like, I think she is an incredible human, but she's a boring human.
Incredibly fucking boring.
I've met her, and like, no, she's so nice.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I met her because she used to work with Olay stuff, and like, she's so nice.
Oh, right.
She's so nice, but like, she's so boring.
It's like, what?
Chris Evans is literally like going through
Chris Evans, you're crisis. 40 years old. He's
going through a midlife crisis.
He really is, but like he never had like anything to trigger it, I feel like, and he's just been like fucking around basically for his whole life. So I'm just kind of like,
not Aly Raisman.
Not Aly Raisman and Chris Evans.
I hate that. Aly Raisman, like you can do that.
Because then Katie and I were trying to figure out how they knew each other, and it's like they're both from Massachusetts because famously you and I made Vera, we didn't make Vera take us to his town, but we drove through his town when we made Vera take us to the Little Women house.
Yes.
Louise May Alcott's house. But apparently and so then we were like, okay, well, like maybe they know each other from like Massachusetts things, but like, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, sorry, keep going about the People's Choice Awards. I just needed to.
No, I did not know that. And that's just like, Chris Evans, like, literally, like, make it harder for me. Continue to make it hard for me to
always making it difficult.
Like, every day, he strays closer.
Every day
he strays farther away.
Every day he's with a new girl in the pandemic.
It's just so much. Literally, it's a pandemic.
He's a pandemic.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's not even that much more to say about, like, the fucking People's Choice Awards. Like, Justin Bieber performs. He actually sounded decent. Chloe and Halle performed. It was fine. They've done better performances, in my opinion. They were off they weren't singing live, but their mics were off. So the timing was weird. It was tragic. And then Tiffany Haddish got an award. Tyler Perry got an award. I was like, not giving the most annoying Black people awards. Like, that's so
also they gave Ellen won the People's Choice Award, by the way, for like best TV host or like talk show host or something. Obviously,
Jimmy Fallon, who is annoying to me.
Oh no, not Jimmy.
And they try to do a bit where
why is Drew Barrymore being ignored?
Truly,
like that is so disrespectful to Drew Barrymore and her.
Drew Barrymore's production team is working overtime to have
that I have never watched.
Her having two people in different places but looking like they're on the same stage. Drew Barrymore's team. Oh, Kelly Clarkson was disrespected.
Magic. Drew Barrymore's team created magic with that Charlie's Angel reunion, and I don't care. Like did. But yeah, Katie showed me that, and I was like, people. Yeah, no. This is the thing. It's the People's Choice Awards, and people are stupid.
And like Sofia Vergara won for like best choice comedy actress, like against like Issa, against like Christina Applegate, like against like people doing like actual acting.
When will the Modern Family plague on our world end? When will it be over? I thought it was done.
Me too. And then because we were like, wait, I thought Modern Family was over, and she was like, this is the last like award I'll ever win with my Modern Family family. And I was like, I thought the other ones were the last.
Family. Yeah.
But basically, like it was tragic. Demi Lovato had on this hideous blonde wig. Like I say this all the time. Demi Lovato truly, I think she is stunning. I think she is beautiful. And I think also that she's a curvier girl, and I think that like that is beautiful, but her team won't dress her properly. It's so upsetting. No. They literally put her in sacks. I'm like, let the bitch embrace her beautiful curvy body. Yep. Let her be an example for women to love their bodies. Why are we putting her in fucking orange sacks? I was so
not
upset.
Okay. Number one, not The Kissing Booth 2 winning the comedy movie of 2020. Not Mulan winning Best Action Movie of 2020 over Tenet and The Old Guard and Birds of Prey and Bad Boys for Life, all movies that I have famously seen and enjoyed.
Same. I enjoyed Bad Boys for Life.
Not Hamilton winning the drama movie of 2020.
Lynn looked like a clown.
I hate to
but I love Lynn.
To tell you this, but remember when we famously dragged Chris Pratt on this podcast the first time for his insensitive post about voting for Onward for
it won.
It won.
Fuck that.
It won over Doolittle, My Spy, Scoob, Sonic the Hedgehog, The Call of the Wild, The Willoughbys, and Trolls World Tour.
Oh my God, it was just like such a clown. It was all clownery, the whole entire thing. But then I'm like,
wait, Lin-Manuel Miranda won the drama movie star of 2020 for Hamilton?
Yes, Meg. And in his speech, he was like, I hope that we can go back to the theater soon. And I was like, no.
I mean, Elizabeth Moss did not do all that in The Invisible Man to be beaten by Lin-Manuel Miranda. That is so disrespectful to Elizabeth Moss, and honestly to Ben Affleck in The Way Back, in which he definitely performed better than Lin.
Yeah, like it was just such clownery. And like my question I have is just like a simple one.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it even worth it at that point? Like, are these like I feel like we've seen a couple of digital award shows during this time of quarantine, and like the VMAs were like decent. Like the Gaga performance was good, and like I feel like we watched like the EMA performances recently, and like those were cool because they were like executed well. But like the bits that they're trying to do, like the hosts, it's just, I would just rather than like not have these weird these things in the middle. Just like tell me who wins, give me like 1,000 performances and be done with it. I don't need all this like funny. I don't need the funnies because they're not funny.
No, I totally. I think
the Zoom of it all. Ugh.
I know. I think the Zoom of it all. I mean, yeah, I don't think anyone has quite gotten it right yet.
I'm interested to see how they're going to do the Oscars.
Yeah, well,
and the Grammys.
That's not until April. So
Grammys are in February, though, right?
Yeah, which we're probably going to hear some stuff about nominations for that soon.
Yeah.
I think it's like next week or the week after.
If they snub Rain on Me, I'll be upset.
I don't know if they can.
They're going to snub
Rain
Sam.
on Me. They are. Well, Sam's not going to be eligible.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah.
And neither
is Ariana.
Oh, yeah. I hope they don't.
The cutoff is August 31st.
Dua Peep either. I thought Dua Peep's album was good.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, they can't snub Harry either.
Oh my God, they'll try. Speaking, so not Meg doing a transition on the news.
Boop.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a perfect transition because Harry Styles has honestly been everywhere over the last couple of months. Honestly,
well, he's trying to get those Grammy noms.
Yeah, I'm like, Lady Gaga needs to take some notes because Harry Styles has not let me breathe. I haven't seen nothing but Harry Styles.
Absolutely not.
But he, as everyone saw over their timeline, is the first solo male to be on the cover of Vogue magazine, which is obviously a feat.
Yeah, congratulations to that man.
To that man. He looked great. I think, I mean, the real tea of this whole thing, it's not even actually tea, because like I want to preface this with like, I have grown to actually really love Harry Styles. I think Fine Line is like an impeccable album. I listen to it often. I love Harry Styles. I think he's like great, and I have come to this love over the last month or two. And like in my post that I posted, if you do follow me on Instagram on my stories, I've always found it super hard for me. I think we talked about this a little bit also on our podcast, but it's always been hard for me, and I've never actually known where to stand with him, because I'm always like, I love him, and I think what he's doing in terms of like trying to like gender bend and like wear more feminine presenting clothing and like tell the tale that like anyone can wear what they want is like beautiful, but also like, as I said, like if you guys read Alok, A-L-O-K, on Instagram, go to that post and read it, because I am basically just summing up what they said. But I think what they said is great, and also they are gender non-binary, so they have way more of a say in this than I do. But I do think what's hard for me, and what was always hard for me, is that I feel so reluctant to outwardly stand and praise a cis-presenting man for doing something that trans bodies, that queer bodies are chastised for, and honestly like killed over. Like that's just like not chill for me. And like and also what's hard is like no one has to disclose their sexuality to anyone. Let's make that 100% clear. But what's so hard for me about Harry is like, I'm like, but are you queer baiting? But like you're not, but maybe you are, but also you shouldn't have to tell anyone what your sexuality is. But also like, is that whole entire notion like allowing you to like ride off of this community that maybe isn't yours? I don't know. I do not know continuously where I fall on that. But like, as Alok said in their post, like I as they are choosing to take this as a win for, you know, the world, in terms of that we are becoming more accepting of this idea of challenging the boundaries between masculinity and femininity, but also it's like the way we talk about the election. It's like, but also understanding that there's much work to be done, and that just because like we should not just because this happened on the cover of Vogue decide like, okay, we're done. We don't have to worry about like these kinds of things anymore, because there's still so much at risk. But yeah, I just rambled, but I feel similarly. But
I 100%. It's a tricky like balance, but I think I'm obviously, and like with what happened today then too, the backlash
to Candace Owen
and then Ben Shapiro too, tweeting about just disgusting. And I think it was like there were tweets that were like, leave Harry alone, you know what I mean? Like blah, 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 blah. And then there were people like, okay, well, like, you don't really need to defend, like, this way, you know, like, he's fine.
No, 100%.
Like, he doesn't care. But also, yeah, it's interesting. I think he's, like you said, like, pushing boundaries, but at the same time, it still can be quite tricky.
Yeah, and, like, I mean, I just think as all things, we challenge the way we think about it. And it's like, I looked on my feed and like, obviously our circles are, you know, not obviously, but like, I feel as though we both, like, we're trying to have more progressive people and voices and just like all of that in our circles. So like, one thing I do ask is like, if you on your Instagram saw every single one of your friends posting, you know, this Harry thing and praising it, but they're not showing up the same way for trans lives, like, let's really think about that, and let's analyze
catch up.
that. Let's catch up, because I'm not going to take that. Like, that's where I draw the line, where it's like, I'm not going to sit here and allow these like women to be like ogling over Harry Styles, but they are not showing up and protecting trans lives during Trans Awareness Week. Like, let's be real. Let's get into the tea. Like, and that's what's the problem for me. Because it's just the fetishization of this idea of queerness when it suits what you think it should be, but not actually going to the source of the people that it actually affects. And that's the problem for me. And that's what I struggle with Harry about. And I don't even think Harry is trying to like do that, but also I'm like, I don't know. It's so hard for me. I think that is what it is. It's like, no 100%.
One can, if you're going to comment on it in that way, you absolutely have to be knowledgeable and acknowledge the other side of it as well.
Exactly.
And it's like, as we say this in everything we talk about basically, but it's just about having awareness and acknowledging things.
100%. And yeah, and that's just where it's hard for me. And like, I think I loved the cover. I actually read the story. I thought it was great. I think Harry's great. I think Harry is doing a lot for, you know, this new world we're all attempting to live in. But also it's like, it's the same thing. It's kind of the same thing we watched in Disclosure, right? That's the name of the documentary that I always forget, by Laverne Cox.
Yeah.
When like all these cis men played or portrayed trans women, or trans characters, and they're, you know, praised and winning awards for their performances, but trans actors can't get the same jobs. They're telling them they have to be a different person than they actually are. They're telling them to portray this idea that people put in their head of someone who is trans, when in reality they're just a fucking person. Like, it's just, that's where I'm like, I don't know. And also I'm like, just vote. Like, I love Tyler Mitchell, the person who shot the cover. He is a Black man, which we love. He shot Beyonce's cover, which we also love. I think he is very like renowned in the industry as someone who people love, and I love that for him. But I'm like, I don't know. Should the first cis man on, you know, the cover of Vogue have been Harry? I don't know. Maybe he's perfect for it. Like, I love it, and I think it's great, and I think it's a step in a great direction. But I just hope that Vogue shows up the same way for, you know, the queer community, for queer people, for trans lives. I mean, obviously, maybe the world should be ready, but isn't ready for it. But the impact of, you know, having a trans man, a trans woman on the cover, you know, as a trans man on the cover of Vogue, like, as, you know, the first man, like, that would be incredible, insane, beautiful. And I know that you have to have a certain, you know, fame level or caliber to be on the cover of Vogue, but I don't know, we're changing things these days. So let's think a little bit harder. That's what it is for me.
I just, it's.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm not sitting here shitting. I am not shitting on the cover. I posted it, as everyone knows. I have a serious crush on Harry Styles, but that is not without thinking about all the things that come with who Harry Styles is in the world today, and what we live in.
I know what I am. I'm a slut for Harry, bro.
Yeah, and I've never felt that way, but I'm like, okay, Harry Styles, papa.
That is a TikTok sound, by the way, in case people don't know. But anyway, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, we obviously love him. We talk about him all the fucking time on this podcast. But
like,
again,
I'm trying to get
I think this is what we're famous for at this point, is not letting that love cloud our judgment on being objective and looking at things from all angles and acknowledging all perspectives.
Totally. It's like, well, I think that Harry is like, shows up, like, I mean, from what I've seen, I feel like he's showing up for, you know, what he believes in and all that good stuff. And like, as I said, like, I am also holding Vogue accountable to like not using this as like clickbait. Like, let's like continue to like show, like, break barriers between what it means to be masculine and feminine, and like, let's fucking dismantle the gender binary. Like, that's
exactly
where I'm at.
Come on, keep pushing boundaries. Let's go.
Like, let's do it. But yeah, I do think it's a step in the right direction. Love Harry. I love Harry.
Love you, Harry.
Love you, Harry. We love you, Harry.
Even though the article was boring as fuck. Sorry.
Yeah, the article, I mean, him doing the juice cleanse and the Pilates, I was like, Harry. Hamish Bowles wrote it, which is funny because Hamish Bowles is like a pretty renowned Vogue editor. And like, back in my 13-year-old days, when I was like obsessed with Teen Vogue and Vogue editors, because I wanted to work in fashion, Hamish Bowles was like one of the people that I always like. I read his column in Teen Vogue. He did like a party column, I think. But yeah, so I just felt like it was very full circle.
I love that.
Okay.
I mean, you take the reins on this week's Go Girl, Give Us Nothing. I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I mean, there's not even that much to say, except for this person is just like, I don't understand their internet presence, and I honestly kind of don't understand them anymore, and that's Vanessa Hudgens. Go Girl, Give Us Nothing. And in this instance, I'm like, actually give me nothing, because like, who are you? Like, I'm so confused by Vanessa Hudgens, like, who famously used to go as Vanessa Ann Hudgens. I mean, she rose to fame in High School Musical. has been in basically like many low budget films since, I feel. Like has not actually, I feel like, had another peak.
No. I mean, this switched for Christmas. Princess Switch.
The Princess Switch.
So I mean, the thing is, she's getting the Netflix check. Like she is
getting
the Netflix check. What else is she? I think she was in like a Hallmark movie. Oh, she had The Night Before Christmas, which was, I don't know if it was on Netflix as well, where it was like another Christmas movie, and like this night got sent back or forward in time.
Oh, yeah.
Which I watched.
Yeah, and it's like, also, we all know she had those very controversial comments about COVID earlier this year. I feel like she did spiral when her and Austin Butler broke up.
Everybody dies.
Yeah, it was terrible.
No, it was incredibly in horrible taste and completely problematic. And she went away for a little bit. She is going to be in this Tick Tick Boom musical adaptation that Lin-Manuel Miranda's doing with Andrew Garfield and like a bunch of a big ensemble cast. She did Rent. I think she did Grease.
Yeah, that one.
Grease, which she was actually, I would have to say, the best part of. And that story about how her dad literally died the night before is like terrible.
That's what it is. I don't think Vanessa Hudgens necessarily, I mean, I don't think she's the most talented person in the world. Like, I think she's not talented. I just think she is an anomaly to me in terms of like, she's like a person who rose to fame before influencing, but like now is kind of like a weird influencer, but is not actually good at it, but also is like an actress.
She also is like famously like obsessed with SoulCycle
and Halloween,
and yoga, and Halloween and Coachella.
It's just all so much.
No, but it's like, it's crazy because we do actually know so much about this girl. Like, she's so in the news a lot. And I think there's level of celebrity like her that is like not actually super talented, not even getting work really, but is so just, overexposed at the same time. And like, it's just
that is the
crazy.
Perfect way to describe her, overexposed.
Yeah. But I don't know. She's interesting, but I will be watching The Princess Switched again, in which she plays 3 different characters.
Oh my God, maybe we should rank all the shitty Netflix movies this year.
Ooh.
Oh, idea.
Ooh, love that idea. But
yeah.
Anyway, Vanessa Hudgens, go girl, give us no acting
Not
talent.
A thing.
Sometimes you're good, sometimes...
Confusion. Give us confusion.
Give us inconsistency.
Literally.
Anywho,
that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote, baby.
A hodgepodge of topics today.
No, I kind of love it though.
Not mixed without some deep conversations, because there's not an episode of I'm Screaming where we don't have some sort of
but we always connect them. We always connect them somehow.
Yes, we always do. There's always connection.
And we're getting really good at that, I have to say. I'm gonna praise us a little bit there.
Agreed.
But anyway, thanks for listening, everyone. Once again, please let us know your thoughts on the People's Choice Awards. Let us
all the questions I asked
on. Let us know what you're watching, what you think of what we're watching. Let us know what you think of Olivia Wilde and Jason Sudeikis breaking up, and also Vanessa Hudgens, and also everything we talked about. Harry Styles. Harry Styles will be the important one, of course.
Yes.
We will probably have a little Instagram post for that. Speaking of Instagram, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. I have to get back on my Twitter game. And please rate, review, and subscribe. Leave us a cheeky, cute 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate it very much.
Yes, and we must say, love you, man.
Love you, G.